Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Welcome back to Lazer Grand Arena 2025, where we are still kicking here in the second week of the tournament. Our quarterfinals and onward stages of the bracket. We are getting now into the losers bracket with a losers bracket round 1 match tonight. It is number 9 seed tekkito, number 5 seed ASecretBox, losers in their previous matchups against Malashevsky and Flying Tuna respectively. Now with their second and final chance at remaining in the bracket and advancing onward here this evening. I'm excited for this matchup. I think it's going to be a good one. I am this one guy. Joining me this evening is Fiery Rage. Good evening to you, Mr. Fiery Rage, and welcome to the commentary box.
I'm a Pascal Siakam enjoyer. What a way to start things off, huh?
He's got the basketball on his second monitor, guys. He's prepared.
No, I don't actually. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, this should be a pretty close matchup on paper. I think Box and Tekkito are both very strong on hidden, so I would imagine we'll probably be seeing that picked into quite a lot here. As for ASecretBox, as you said, tapping definitely a strength, so would imagine Tekkito wants to stray away from that, as we can see immediately from the Nomad 2 ban. Nomad 3 Protect coming out from Box, and the Hidden 3 Protect on Tekkito. Both of those, I think, make some sense. Precision is somewhat of a weakness of Tekkito's, and Nomad 3 is the precision map in the pool. DT1 as a ban also makes sense. These guys are just going at, oh my god.
Fast and furious!
And Hidden 2 ban from ASecretBox. He hates me. That's over.
It's a real shame that we have multiple members of the staff team for this tournament represented in this map pool, with the Fiery Hidden 2, the Suicune Nomad 3, and unfortunately we've been seeing our fair share of bans of those maps. So once more, it will be another Hidden 2 ban. We've seen that quite a few times in the Lazer mod banned out. Yeah, ASecretBox banning reading and Tekkito banning tapping. I don't think anybody could have possibly foreseen this. And wow, look at that, the instant DT3 pick. Again, like the most completely expected bans and protects and first pick that you will ever see in your life.
I think DT2 might have been a bit more of a predictable pick, I think, if you wanted to go with like straight on, full on tapping. DT3 is a bit more in a gimmick-oriented tapping sense, I guess you could say. But it is still tapping nonetheless. It is a double-time pick. So Box picking into it, not surprising, as you said. Getting into it, though.
This has to have been the shortest time from match starting to first map being played in any match I've ever seen. Like, that might have just set a record. No time to talk about anything, no time for any analysis or strategy. We're just getting right into things. As you said, the kind of alt-flow aim control DT3 here. Honestly, like as you were saying, this is kind of a map that I feel both of these guys should be able to do pretty well on. So excited to see how it plays out for them. And starting off well enough with both guys holding their FC for the first 200 combo at the start.
A bit of a relatively easy section to start things off, so nothing crazy. Both these players well adjusted to this, not having any issues. Be once we get into the choruses that things start to pick up. There goes a miss from ASecretBox though on one of the repeat sliders. I believe Tekkito trades it shortly after, not after building up a somewhat not really sizable lead. I'd say 5k, but still a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an advantage. I do feel, and tell me if you feel the same way or not, but it feels like whoever wins the first map in any given set tends to have a decent advantage in that set. I don't know the raw numbers on how frequently the player who wins the first map, wins the set, but it feels like it's pretty often. So we will see if that continues to hold true as Tekkito has started to have some trouble here, and Box is now pulled into about a 40,000 point lead.
Yeah, it was a very solid first chorus from Box, not having any issues with that whatsoever. Tekkito dropping a couple misses here and there. Not a horrible lead for him to give up, though, 60k. It's going to probably be around 100k, I'd say, if everything stays the same, but that is well within reachable distance for him if he so chooses to go for one of his protects, maybe, that Hidden 3. But continued misses from him, not going to be really helping his case much here, and Box is just kind of shredding this right now.
Yeah, Box really settled into this map after the early break. He has not missed again since, and making his way through some tricky patterns, those buzz sliders as well. Man, the aim control in these flow patterns is absolutely bonkers from Box. Great flow player, of course, so it's not an utter surprise, but still watching it happen is pretty awesome. Finally, the miss, so that's going to temper the lead a little bit, but fortunately for Box, Tekkito breaks again as well right near the ending. And a 163k lead is a pretty massive gap on map number 1 of this first set.
Yeah, I was thinking 100k would probably be within the realm of reason to come back, but as you said, when you win the first pick by a decent margin like that, 163k, usually you're in a very good spot to win the set. It would not be, and people play around that, so I would not be too surprised to see tekkito pick into something he's maybe not super comfortable in. Probably just throwing out a hard rock, maybe just get it over with. Would not terribly surprise me. Obviously cannot pick into that no mod 3, but
yeah, no, definitely with you there though. I think if you're tekkito, you pick something that's like decent, but you're not picking like your protect here. You're not picking your absolute best. And there you go, hard rock pick. Well predicted there, Fiery. It's gonna be the hard rock 1, which is another map that feels like it's been banned quite a bit, actually. For whatever reason, players not seeming to love the this aim hard rock 1 so much. But this really is just a very generic hard rock aim pick. And I mean, tekkito's decent enough at hard rock aim. It's not like he's bad at it, but certainly not his absolute strength either.
Yeah, this is a much more aim-centric hard rock. So definitely probably the weakest, I think, of the skill sets tekkito has. Combining aim and hard rock. Not really a good combination for him. So, not horribly surprising to see him just want to get this out of the way. I imagine probably feeling a bit more confident on hard rock 3, hard rock 2, and just gonna chalk this set up to, you know what, let's just get hard rock 1 out of the way. If I somehow win the set from this, cool. Otherwise, I think he's just going on to the next set with a fresh coat of paint.
He'll have a fresh set of downs to work with after this one. Yeah, it's an interesting sort of emergent strategy here in this format that we've never seen before, where you really can pick into something suboptimal in situations like this, which is something we've seen a decent number of players do. If you lose that first map by a large margin, then I'll just use something that's not great for the next one, so you don't have to worry about potentially losing it later on. And in we go with the early break indeed from tekkito to start off. The accuracy falling a little bit behind as well. Couple misses, so definitely not his #1 pick in this pool. But if you lose this as tekkito, whatever. And we'll see how long ASecretBox can keep this high AC FC up.
Box looking super comfortable on this. Aim, one of his best skill sets outside of the tapping, so kind of expect him to shred this. He's just having absolutely no issues. I believe 2x100 so far, and tekkito struggling a bit on these full screen jumps, but Box just makes this look like a 6-star map at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to start things off on this map from Box. I mean, minute and a half in, we're about a third through. It's 7-star full screen jump hard rock aim. Like any big combo in this is going to look pretty impressive, especially when your opponent is struggling a bit. So I'm just in it for the ASecretBox score at this point, because I think this set is basically over. This is a virtual almost 400k lead now for the Australian. When you add in the previous map and what we have as the difference on this one so far. And that's really not comebackable, especially since, well, I don't think tekkito has 400,000 more points to get on the map. So.
And there's not really much you're going to be able to do anyway. I mean, Box is still holding on to an FC as we're halfway through the map.
Yeah.
Looking to just absolutely shred this. This is probably going to be his next pick, in all honesty. Finally finds a break there. But it's not going to matter. This is a nuts score from him.
And it's funny because, well, I do recognize that Box is pretty good at aim. It's not the #1 skill set I think of when I think of his name, obviously being best known for tapping and flow, but clearly up there, because this is some impressive stuff. Finally, a couple breaks here, heading into the quiet part, but it's job done at this point. Damage has long since been done for ASecretBox, and you know, the kind of throwaway pick here for tekkito, doing what you'd expect it to, really. It was never a super competitive map, and it didn't really need to be. And he'll just go into the second set with his own next pick to come. It's just a refresh.
tekkito does get the first pick in the next set, so gets to get momentum built in his favor, much like Box did for this set. And at the very least, doesn't really have to worry about too many aim maps remaining in the pool. Nomad 1 probably the closest to an aim map remaining.
He had a pretty good score on the Nomad 1 against Malashevsky, realistically. He put up like an 815K, so yeah, much less worried about that one than he was about this one, I'm thinking. Hidden 1, of course, works kind of in tekkito's favor as well as a preference hidden player. So yeah, this was definitely the worst of the available aim picks, I think. So that's going to be ASecretBox set 1. Takes a 1-0 set lead as we perform some brief background maintenance to get the scores ordered properly here.
The classic ref over aim.
Yeah, I don't know. Our referee circle size in the ref client needs to be increased, I guess. I don't know. He's going Nomad 4 is tekkito for his own first pick of set 2 here. You like this one? I don't know.
This is I find this kind of interesting. Both these players played this in their first matchups. tekkito had a 628K on this, I believe, with very solid accuracy. Just a lot of misses, unfortunately. I think he only had like 3 100s, which is honestly kind of nutso on this.
Bonkers ack, yeah.
And Box, on the other hand, also having very good accuracy with less misses, 726K. So this is one of the toss-up maps. I'm interested to see how this plays out. I don't think this would be a pick you'd want to necessarily go for as an opening pick, but we'll see how it plays out.
I'm glad we're in agreement on that, because that's pretty much the same thought process I had when looking at this map in their previous MP links. Did not seem like something that would be as advantageous for tekkito as you might normally expect a Nomad 4 to be against a lot of players. So we'll have to see how it plays out. There's this kind of lengthy extended intro section. I feel like somebody randomly misses here decently often, but didn't happen this time around, so we'll come into the first drop, the first really difficult section here with identical SS ranks for both guys. First act drop at all coming for ASecretBox. But here we go into the first big slider tech section. We're going to learn a lot about how this map is going to go very quickly.
Both these players should have absolutely no problem on the accuracy department on this at the very least. We saw that as much from the first time they played this. It's just going to come down to who can actually combo more and whether or not tekkito can get rid of some of those misses he got in the Malashevsky match. First blood goes to ASecretBox on the miss. So far looking pretty good for tekkito.
Starting out exactly how we would have liked. The accuracy staying very high as well. I think he's just dropped 1 or 2 100s. The break, as mentioned, coming from Box. See if tekkito can continue to hold. If he can get through this entire slider section with the full combo intact, he's going to be in a pretty good spot in the map. Let's see what he can do here. And Box going to start to recover. He has built up a fair amount of combo. There is a lot of combo to be had in this map. It's like, what, 2,300 combo for FC. And now you got both players stabilizing, but tekkito still on that FC. Another break. Nope, a Bancho miss, I think, from Box. I swear I saw his screen flash.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was a Bancho miss, unfortunately. tekkito, that is not a Bancho miss. That's exactly halfway through the map, too. Box, thankfully, trades it immediately after, so not going to be the worst-case scenario for tekkito, especially with that accuracy he's holding, still 99.3%.
Sprinkle in another couple breaks, though, does tekkito. So Box is going to have a bit of a combo advantage as we head into the last third of the map. That score lead just shy of 60,000. tekkito's accuracy lead kind of helping him maintain it a bit, but Box does have a combo lead. If tekkito breaks again, Box could pounce on it, but you can't expect that. You've got to expect tekkito to really lock in for the last portion of the map here at the end in the last 45 seconds.
As you say that, he misses on one of the slider aim sections there, and Box, despite the accuracy difference, 1% still in favor of tekkito. He's going to be clawing the score lead back. Won't necessarily go in his favor quite yet. I think we're going to need to see maybe another miss from tekkito like that one right there, and it might get down to the wire at the very end. Box has recovered very nicely.
This is really impressive stuff here from ASecretBox coming into the ending in this tapping aim control portion at the end. Holds on to the big combo. The lead finally will flip on over, and ASecretBox looks to steal away a lead on his opponent's pick here at the end, and does so. A 943 combo into the ending of the map. 753 to 744k, and a huge victory for ASecretBox to take a score lead out of that map with his own pick to come next.
And this is why you picked Hard Rock 1 as tekkito on set 1. Because now, Box could have just picked that and the set would be over. But now, you don't he has to kind of think about this. I don't think he's not going to go for... He's probably going for DT2. Like, everything considered, that's probably the ideal pick I would put in this scenario. Maybe a Hard Rock if you wanted to be a bit wacky with it. But I think one of those is probably going to be what we're seeing here. And Box, even with that 9k lead, that's not a big lead at all. So it's not a comfortable margin to really want to pick into something toss-up-y like the Nomad 1, for example. He is going to go into the Hard Rock 2, so...
I am kind of surprised that this isn't the DT2, to be honest, considering their scores from their previous matches. Box has a 200k lead in his previous score versus tekkito's, but he did put up a good score on this Hard Rock 2 as well. Of course, Switcheroo, the precision Hard Rock pick in this pool. Box played it against Tuna, did actually win that map score-wise in that matchup, put up a 785k 5 misplay, which once you see this map is honestly pretty impressive. And if we learned anything from the first set, it might be that tekkito is a little less than comfortable on the Hard Rock picks in this pool, so we'll see if this one works out any better. This is basically whoever wins this map wins the set, since the score is so close. But man, tekkito not starting off well on it at all on these wiggles.
Having a hard time getting accustomed to the CS roughly 6.7 after Hard Rock being applied. It's very hard to get into precision once you have played something that isn't really precision heavy. Box does trade one of those misses, so lead is going to be in his favor, but not for horribly long, as we find another miss from tekkito. It's just the accuracy difference that's keeping Box right now in this lead.
That's exactly 99.4 against 97, and it was 96 a little bit ago for tekkito. Definitely falling quite a bit behind on what I can't get over the fact that this somehow isn't a Toho song, as we see more breaks from tekkito. Not looking good for him, already halfway through one of the shortest maps in the pool, if not the shortest map in the pool, and Box halfway through with a 75k lead. tekkito's got his work cut out for him to avoid the 2-0 set deficit here.
Not wholly unrecoverable, but we do need to see Box start missing pretty soon with how good he's been on the aim-centric picks. Both of them do trade a miss there, so the score lead at the very least is going to be stopped, but he's going to need a bit more than that. He's going to need a bit more help from Box here in order to get this point back. 1 minute remaining.
I don't know that this is doable at this point. 80k. tekkito's going to need a lot of help here, and he needs to help himself, and he needs to get help from his opponent. Basically, he needs to combo a ton, and he needs to see a couple breaks from Box, and the trade is not going to be what the doctor ordered at all. That is the opposite of a panacea in this particular case. tekkito is going to, in fact, continue to fall farther behind, and Box going to run that lead out near 100k by the time all is said and done on this pick, and it does look like we're seeing a 2-0 lead here. Box just on a bit of a tear here this evening, superior on pick after pick. And man, 122k makes 130k score lead in total for that 2-0.
That's very unfortunate breaks all around from tekkito, not really having a strong foothold in that. The immediate Hard Rock 3 pick. I'm actually kind of surprised not to see a Nomad 3 pick after the precision. Box winning precision by quite a wide margin, but just immediately shotgunning the Hard Rock 3 pick out. I guess since he has a 2-0 set lead, might be wanting to experiment a bit with something that he's still going to be comfortable on, and tekkito is going to be weaker on, but not necessarily perhaps as one-sided, I suppose.
Still no DT2 either, notably. That was kind of what I expected here, I think, was the DT2, honestly. But Dead just going to play the entire Hard Rock pool in this matchup, I guess. Box saying, if you are not at your absolute peak of comfort on these Hard Rocks, we'll use all of them. And see if he can go 3 for 3 here on some Snap Alt Hard Rock. Box did drop an 885k on this in his previous match. tekkito did not play it. So we're looking at a high score from Box, and tekkito, the way he's been playing tonight, unfortunately, it's hard to have a ton of hope for him keeping this close, but I would love to see it happen in the interest of a competitive match.
Out of all the Hard Rock maps, this is probably his best one that he could go for. It's not super precision heavy, normal circle size for Hard Rock, 5.2. And as you said, Snap Alt, definitely one of his best skill sets. So I imagine, in comparison to Hard Rock 2, this should be, at the very least, a bit better for him. He won't have nearly as much trouble, and we're seeing that out of the starting gate. Not any misses from either player. As soon as I say that, of course, why would it be any different? God. Anyway, Box now with the combo advantage.
God bless America. It was a bit unfortunate of a miss there for tekkito. Hadn't even really gotten to the very challenging portions of the map. Unfortunately, one of the first aim patterns that really shows up as we now head into this Ki. Things just kind of accelerate a bit, and let's see what Box can do, and let's see if tekkito can recover. He's going to need to, and instead it's another break. And Box just going to run that advantage out, and you've got to think that tekkito needs to come out of this at least near even. And there finally is a little help. Box with his first break going to slow down that score lead growing. It's about 40,000, but it's going to stabilize around there.
Yeah, luckily this map is pretty long, so early misses from tekkito will impact the score lead, but it's not going to be a disaster. So still has a decent margin to work with here. Box with the 250 combo entering the slow part now.
That was unfortunate.
Probably the worst miss you could have gotten. And that one too.
Oh, so I will say, you know, tekkito did mention before the match he felt a little uncomfortable with his Lazer client today. I feel like there's a little bit of that's been going around. Malashevsky talking about the same thing the other day, but regardless, you know, you come into the match and you just assume it's a level playing field as best you can, and right now, ASecretBox is just making the most of this map regardless of why his opponent is missing. He's not, and he is building now nearly a 100,000 point lead on this pick that is going to feel quite unassailable if it keeps growing.
It's probably going to remain at 100k for now. About a minute remaining. Still opportunity for Box to miss, which would give the score lead back over to tekkito. Can cut into it, as the accuracy difference is not really that large. It's about 3% or 0.3%. Both players own 99, so not really any issues in the comfort department. Just unlucky misses from tekkito. But hey, Box can also get some unlucky misses as we enter the last hard part.
They can happen to anyone. Right there, right there.
Look at that.
There's your unlucky miss. And with about 30 seconds to go at that point, it's time enough for tekkito to at least get this under 80k, maybe even get this under 70k at the very end. He does break, though, so it's going to sit right at about 70k. And it's doable, right?
I'd say after that break, that's probably the best case scenario you could have hoped for. You had about 100k down at that break. So cutting into that deficit by about 30k is still pretty solid, and this is where tekkito's definitely going to want to use his Protect. There it is, hidden 3 immediately, not wasting any time there. This is definitely a overcomable deficit. This is not like DT1, where it was kind of doomed from the get-go. This one actually, he has a chance.
Yeah, I think, again, this is a skill set that both these guys are very, very familiar with, right? The hidden flowy aim with the finger control thrown in. This is something that both these guys should be expected to do pretty well on. Box put up an 817k on this in his previous match. Again, another map that tekkito did not play, so don't have a score to compare. But this is so up tekkito's alley, man. I feel like there's a reason he protected this, and he can definitely put up a really, really good score, and he's going to need to. So let's see if he can clutch it out, get a point on the board, get a set up there for tekkito. Maybe kickstart a bit of a comeback.
Not too much to talk about in the beginning here. So once the map actually starts, things will get a bit interesting. For now, it's unfortunate 100s from tekkito. The fabled slow part 100s, the slow part act killer. But as we get into the map proper now, both players, as kind of expected, looking fairly comfortable on this.
This is such a cool map, by the way. I love this pick. Just, like, you don't get a lot of jazz and this kind of, like, former Nomad 6-esque, like, tapping control flow is pretty nifty. Unfortunately, early break from tekkito. Maybe he will not be finding this quite as nifty as his opposition is so far. With
what
Box
is this accuracy?
I don't know. I'm just going to let it play out and see what happens. Notably, Box and Tuna both finished with like 99.15 AC or above in their match. So I guess we're just watching aliens. They have metronomes in their head, perfectly controlling their rhythms. As there's another break from tekkito, and this boss is looking perhaps more inevitable here as Box is just doing like illegal things to this map.
What is this accuracy?
I don't know.
Like, actually, what is this accuracy? This is disgusting. tekkito has really good ac for this. 99% is nothing to scoff at, but like what is this?
Nah, this is not normal. In case anybody thought this was normal, trust me, it's not. You don't do what he's doing on this pick. Let's see how long it goes. Let's just, you know, like when a pitcher in baseball is doing something, you don't talk about it, you ignore it, you just let it be in the background. I'm just gonna stay there, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, he dropped it, unlucky.
We get into
still,
this
like,
super crazy rhythm section here, and he's still continuing to hold like only 200s, and tekkito is far by the wayside at this point. I mean, this is map over, match over. Congratulations, ASecretBox, but like finally breaks. Okay, all right. So maybe he is mortal. He has been determined to not be a superhuman, an alien from outer space. May live among us, but not quite to the degree that we thought. ASecretBox maybe has bled just a tiny bit on this map, but far less than his opponent.
And it's not going to be enough no matter what happens at this point. 800k at the bare minimum. That's if he just stops playing, basically. Still, though, 99.70? Like, my god, that is just unreal. And I think most of that act drop was just from misses. I think he's had maybe 2 100s so far.
Yeah, and two 300s and then 2 maybe 3 misses, something along those lines. It's stupid. It's dumb. I mean, this is one of the best act plays you'll see in a tournament setting. Like, it's 2 100s, 3 misses. No, you did not just do that to close out the match, bro. Like, you don't get to just roll up and drop that accuracy on that map, man. That's not okay. Oh, congrats ASecretBox on the 3-0 win, but like you just rolled up, did that, and he's gonna peace out until his next match. Like he didn't just set one of the most ridiculous act plays we've seen this entire tournament.
That was absolutely nasty. Not really anything tekkito could have done there, honestly. Even if he FC'd that map, it would have not made a difference, I think. Or actually, it would have, but
yeah.
It would be very tough, because he would have to get like 99.2%, I think, in order to counter that. It was almost 880k on the side of ASecretBox, which you really need probably the best score you're ever going to get if you're going to counteract that. There's just not much you can do.
And not much you can do is, unfortunately, kind of the story of that entire match for tekkito. Once again, you know, set some pretty decent scores, but it was just never enough because Box played out of his mind on several of those maps, and that's all it takes when it's this sort of setting and you're playing maps that are this challenging. So onward will go ASecretBox. I'm going to be quite frank here. I don't have a bracket. I don't know who he plays next. I would need to see the bracket up to know who his next matchup is potentially against. It's one of like 4 players still, I think. I'm not sure though. Quite honestly.
Hold on, I got you.
Thank you. Like, I even have the sheet
I
up.
got you.
Yeah, I would say I even have the sheet up, but I don't know the order in which these matches feed into each other in losers, so...
It's so over.
Yeah, it's actually doomed. What I can tell you is that the next matchup is in about 30 minutes. It is the first of the winner's bracket semifinals. It is Akens versus Xylus. That's coming up at 3 UTC. And I believe it will be the loser of that ASecretBox will face. So if Xylus pulls off another upset, we could have a little Australian on Australian violence if ASecretBox could end up playing Akens. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Xylus trying to continue this kind of improbable run. 23 seed, still alive in top 8. Pretty cool.
As much as I don't think anyone agrees that he's 23 seed.
No.
Bit of trolling happening there, but...
Perhaps.
So that is going to be a very good match up to stay tuned for. That's going to be happening in 30 minutes. We'll have more on Saturday as well. Got other losers round 1 matches. Emrek versus Lexa 3S, which is Welter. And the other semifinals match, Malashevsky versus Flying Tuna at 15 UTC. That's going to be it for now, though. It's been T1G and Fiery Rage. We'll be seeing you guys in 30 minutes.
喉を締め付け乾いた季節思いにふける通りに浮かぶ思い出の雪再会を予期してた That sweet memory 待つことに慣れすぎて痛みさえ感じないの麻痺してるこだめてる刺激高いオーラまた求めてる視界ゼロの中あなたと繋いだ手のぬくもりも込みして堂々と降り積もる雪にそっと手を伸ばして白闇を愛せるよりマイナスの世界で踊り続ける遠く意識に悪魔の手招きホワイトアウトお揃いだった頃の香り捨てられすぎる黒のコーポも頭の中も真っ白で I wish for it now I wish 伝えたいあなた好みの服を着てあなた好みの趣味始めてあなた好みの日常で溢れているかなさよなら言わないで
In the boundless expanse of the multiverse, the allure of traveling through parallel universes beckons intrepid adventurers. Each universe presents distinct laws of physics, alternate histories, and uncharted wonders. As we journey, we encounter reflections of ourselves and ponder the myriad possibilities that could be taken. Guided by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, we embrace the thrill of discovery amidst the enigmatic landscapes. This cosmic odyssey, the dance with destiny, reaffirms the indomitable spirit of human curiosity, a union that the wonders of the
Alright, welcome back everybody to LGA, picking up right where we left off with the Box tekkito match. We have another heater, and this one looking like it should be very, very close. We have Atkins up against Xylus, this time in the winner's side of semifinals. So, I mean, yeah, should be a very good one. Commentating this match is me, Vordy, alongside Hubba. How do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I am a big proponent of a Cinderella story. Xylus currently on that, of course, beating Emrek in the match just yesterday or the day before. Time flies by when you're having fun, and Xylus having fun in this winner's bracket still. Atkins looking to put an end to that, though. A little bit of Australian vengeance on the horizon. Perchance. We'll have to see how this match goes.
Yeah, I mean, Atkins is going to be looking to avenge his fallen comrade. Not fallen out of the tournament, but fallen out of the winner's bracket, of course, when Xylus beat Emrek in their match yesterday. Xylus playing a very good match, playing very consistently all around, having some pop-up performances as well, especially on that hidden 3. Xylus played that exceptionally. Emrek, probably, I think he side-read the pool, so not the best performance out of him, but Atkins is prepared. Atkins as well, both of these players already had played a match, and Atkins looked pretty solid in his match as well. I think most of the head-to-heads were pretty close between these two players. Lots of close matchups. I think overall, Atkins likely should have the hard rock advantage up against Xylus. Xylus should have the tech advantage, so things like Hidden 3, No Mod 4. And then lots of other maps are pretty close.
Yeah, I'm thinking similarly. I would imagine in terms of bans, Atkins is going to prefer some reading bans, but something like No Mod 4 would also be fine for him. It's going to be that Lazer mod first, though. Xylus getting a superb score on the depth mod yesterday that was around 550k, just doubling up, putting him in a big advantage in that final set. So in we go with some protects. It's the No Mod 3.
Yep, Xylus protecting the No Mod 3. Very good map for him. And the Lazer mod map being banned makes sense. Funnily enough, Welter up against Atkins actually banned out the Lazer mod map. But so we don't really know how Atkins is on it, but we saw Xylus play it, and he played it very, very well. Xylus is one to practice these kinds of maps in the pool. Not everybody really wants to play some depth, and yeah, banning that out. Xylus banning out the No Mod 2. Atkins put up a really good showing on the tapping maps. Now, I believe the No Mod 2 was banned against them, but they did play the DT2, at least Atkins did, and he put up a superb score. I think it was like 900k is phenomenal. So Xylus respecting Atkins' stamina. Not many who can beat Xylus on stamina, but Atkins, one of them.
For sure, getting rid of that DT2 as well. Still keeping with these tapping bans, of course, a major strength of Atkins. Xylus no slouch on the skill set, but if it's your teammate's strength and you're feeling a little bit more versatile, you might as well bite the bullet, get rid of those maps. As well as the Hidden 2 Protect for Atkins. Something's telling me this is a little bit of a third ban situation for him. Just trying to be rid of that very volatile wide angle aim structure reading hybrid from Fiery Rage there.
You know, funnily enough, I don't actually know if it is, because Atkins played this Hidden 2, got 691k, and Xylus I believe, got 647k. So Atkins actually has a slight lead on it, but potentially felt like he got lucky. Maybe that Xylus didn't. I could honestly see that as either a real protect or a third ban, as you said, both kind of work. It's a little bit in that in between with the scores they had. But interestingly, Atkins picking the hidden 3, which is kind of shocking to me. I mean, Xylus, this is probably Xylus' best score of his match, so I'm pretty surprised to see this.
Yeah, this is a very surprising pick. This map chock full of flow aim and rhythm difficulty, a little bit of structure difficulty, and some of the stacks mid-flow pattern. That reading that Xylus is also comfortable. As you mentioned, if Atkins has a close enough score on something like Hidden 2, maybe comfort on similar reading prowess is to be available here with the first pick. Otherwise, we have quite the strategic game on our hands if this is not.
But I mean, this is the interesting thing with this format as well, right? Is with the sets, it's like I think the strategy Atkins might be pulling here is you pick Xylus' best map first, because the head-to-head differential, Xylus got 883k on this map against Emrek, Atkins got 704k, which in Lazer's, like, that's a huge difference. 180k is a massive lead. But with the sets, maybe the idea is you first pick your opponent's good map, Xylus now has to pick another map, and the hope is that you kind of just start off the match getting rid of your opponent's maps, which will give you easier sets in the future. Because I highly doubt Atkins feels better on this map than Xylus does, and we can see that from the intro here with some drops from Atkins.
Yeah, an unfortunate handful of breaks from him. Xylus, almost as to be expected already, holding on to some 99.5 really solid stuff. Notably, for scores on this map, we just came off of a match where ASecretBox got 2 100s on this map, so that accuracy yet to be brought back up, but Atkins trying to build back his combo now. And yeah, I mean, that is an interesting strategy. I think doing it so early is also a bit of trickiness. Of course, Xylus coming back from strategy in his matchup against Emrek. His strategy was such a big play. We'll have to see if he picks into maybe one of Atkins' strengths, maybe a DT1 pick on the horizon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with how it's looking, another miss from Atkins. Xylus is still holding that full combo through the halfway point. Massive accuracy. If Xylus ends up winning this by a huge margin, which he's looking to do, then I think the goal would be to pick an Atkins map to try to still win this set, but take away a good map in the process. And if Xylus can, I mean, in some miraculous way manage to FC this, he will be able to pick through a good chunk of maps, hits that pattern as well. Atkins finding lots of struggles, almost 200k score now in the lead for Xylus.
Yeah, this doesn't look like, maybe this is like off, but this doesn't look like the performance of someone who's like going for the gold here. Like, this feels like a very strategic play from him. Xylus finally finding that break, but it's gonna be interesting to see where Xylus goes up next. Of course, Atkins' strength's gonna be in that DT, gonna be in that hard rock as previously mentioned. So probably a pick there to come up next if Xylus catches on.
But yeah, I mean, it's looking like as we are in the last 30 seconds of the map that Xylus should get around 200k score lead by the end, which, as mentioned, will give him plenty of room to pick into potential Atkins maps. But I mean, once again, Xylus is so consistent on this. That 80k almost seemed like an outlier score, but Xylus showing that he can just do this on demand.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he matches it. A few more seconds left, just about. 877. So consistent. A 12-103 miss from him. Just missing on a couple of those flow patterns towards that final third of the map. What a showing.
A great showing from Xylus yet again on the hidden 3. Atkins underperforming compared to his last play on this, maybe getting a little bit bigger of a score deficit than he anticipated on this first pick. But Xylus, for the next map, likely will go into an Atkins map here, and it's gonna be DT1. So this is a map that actually both players were pretty close on. So it's a little bit of a 50-50 map. I almost expected to see something like a hard rock map more, because I think this could really go either way. But I think Xylus also just really wanting to make sure that this set doesn't get thrown away.
Yeah, I feel like Yeah, this is smart for not throwing it away. Of course, I always had a pretty strong score on this, but this is Atkins' main skill set. I'm feeling like there will be an Atkins lead here, but maybe not a full-on, like, enough to bring back 250k worth, you know? Especially with how volatile this map is.
Yeah, super short map, high approach rating, high BPM. I think the only way Atkins realistically wins this set is if he borderline SS's this map, which is possible. It's unlikely to do on demand in a match, but Atkins can definitely put up a score like that. And if Xylus gets something like an 800k, then this set could be won by Atkins, but it's pretty unlikely. And Xylus had a 800k plus on this against Emmerich, so he should be fine.
Yeah, looked very comfortable there, but in we go, near 300 BPM. With the burst and fast aim. The slop era is upon us, and BPMs like this are becoming more and more normal every day.
Yeah, I mean, for some players, 290 would feel like halftime at this point. Some of the maps going to that 400 BPM range, but now with the drop from Atkins, and I think that miss alone puts this set out of reach for Atkins. Xylus not on the best accuracy here on this DT1, but still holding that combo, does find a break, but I think he's done enough to ensure this set goes to him, as long as we don't find any massive struggle from Xylus in the end.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of combo still needs to be accrued. With the accuracy deficit, of course, it does make things a bit scary. But again, a lot of room to qual. It's still half of this map remaining. It's basically, we need a few more breaks from Xylus, and Atkins needs to FC the rest, or near SS the rest, for that to even become a possibility. 40k and climbing, but still not going to be enough, especially with these bursts coming through. A little bit of an act drop being the equalizer for the set on Xylus' side.
Yeah, and solid pick. I think went with the safe route here, picking a DT1, a map that likely won't have a massive lead either way, but probably a good thing to do when your opponent picks one of your best maps in the first set. And both players are going to have similar scores as they did in their first plays. Atkins ending with an 867k and Xylus with 850, so pretty much neck and neck, and Xylus takes this first set.
Very good scores from both of these players. Just was a little close at the end. I think like maybe as a weakness pick that Atkins would have probably picked later. There was better options in that Hard Rock pool, but if Xylus is feeling more confident on that aim, that's going to be the main showing, because that was more of a hybrid map, but that Hard Rock pool is chock full of pure aim maps, that precision only featuring some low BPM streams, the alt map not really showing too many 1/6 bursts, so it's going to have to be playing into a different ballpark for Atkins in that Hard Rock pool.
Yeah, for sure, and Atkins going for the Hard Rock 2 pick, but it is not his turn to pick yet. It's going to be Xylus' pick first, but we might already know what Atkins wants to go into after this. However, his strategy might change depending on the outcome. Now, for the pool, Hidden 1 should look like a pretty good option for Xylus. Was banned against him when Emmerich played, and that is going to be his pick.
Yeah, very excited to see some Magdalena Bay in the pool. Big fan of these modern artists. Gonna be going into wide angle obtuse aim for this map set. A little bit of density on a mid-range AR, but that's not going to be the main difficulty here. It's going to be a good look into that aim. Something like Hard Rock 1 could be a pick in the future, depending on the outcome here.
Yeah, and I mean, the aim in this one's pretty brutal. The density is still quite there with AR 9.2 at 212 BPM equivalent aim, and lots of very awkward patterns. We'll see how these players fare, and we'll see if Atkins can at least get close to Xylus' score deficit, or score lead.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road to go there. This map nearing 5 minutes in length, almost tiebreaker time there for this one of the longer maps in this pool, only seconded by the Nomad one.
Long test of consistency, and already we see both players holding combo, but Xylus significantly better on AK. And with just how important AK is on this laser scoring system, that's going to be a big deal, especially with that miss from Atkins.
Oh.
But traded by Xylus.
Yeah, very volatile early as we head into our first PI. This lower BPM and sort of like rhythmic specialty that the Defiance taps into for this map is going to be making that hidden comfort so much more important for that accuracy, because it really, like, there's a lot of timing points in here, and it goes stop and go, so really helping Xylus out early, but combos still to be desired as both players still finding trades towards the tail end.
And you know, if this keeps happening where both players are just trading misses, even if Xylus ends up with the head-to-head win, which is on pace to do, the score lead he'll be able to accrue won't be too devastating for Atkins as he goes into his pick. That is part of the strategy. Some maps are you're just gonna expect to have lower scores and therefore lower score leads, but Xylus still doing a pretty good job keeping that combo lead, keeping that ACK lead, as we are in the third of the map.
Yeah, and still the biggest combo we've seen so far is around 300, as I was starting to build up to that point once again, but this score lead is only accrued by accuracy, which can be so volatile with the angles here. If you find enough misses, that could be equalized in a heartbeat. So Xylus has to really hope for some inconsistency as we head into our second KI, a little bit more slider difficulty. In this section, the velocity ramping up in flavor. Atkins finding that break, and here's where Xylus is going to start to accrue some of this change, but no, it's a trade once again.
I mean, it's just so hard to hold combo on this map. Xylus obviously showing a greater level of comfort, but you just can't really go too far with that score lead because of these combo breaks. And that's good for Atkins in this second set. Now the miss from Xylus does give Atkins a temporary combo lead. And he's, you know, building up that accuracy from the intro. He's gotten more used to the rhythm of this map. That's still going to be almost 2% ACK lead for Xylus, doing most of the damage as you mentioned. And the score lead actually kind of clawing back now. Not anymore with another break.
This is like the ultimate caster curse map. Every time we mention the combo, somebody falls apart, but the accuracy slightly equalized now. Less than 2% difference. Oh, couple 100s for them. Changes that as well, but still just this 40k score line has been so consistent throughout this map. Final KI, hoping for no fall aparts. But if Atkins were to drop more, Xylus likely to maybe go up to 50k, but it's a trade once again, and gonna be staying even.
Yeah, that section was rough. And now in this ending, lots of difficult patterns. Atkins dropping 2 misses there. Massive ACK drop as well on that burst. Xylus actually getting a lot of lead because of it, but finding another break. Roughly 60k score right now. Should still give Atkins some difficulty in this next map, but not too bad of a lead currently.
Yeah, not bad at all. Definitely comebackable with a strong hard rock pick still. We're gonna have to see how they're feeling on that on the day. We're expecting that to be a very strong play for Atkins, but Xylus notably leaving all of them open in favor of tapping picks. So a couple more trades to round it out. 70k just about towards this tail end, and we'll have to see how that performance goes if he were to pick in there.
Yep, 45 seconds left in this hidden one. That lead still at 70k now. See if Atkins finds any more misses as the map seems to be winding down. Yep, shouldn't be any real misses here at this ending point. To have a spinner, nice chill section. And it looks like Xylus will end up closing this hidden one with a nice 65k score. As Atkins is using that spinner, getting any little bit of score he can.
Yeah, Xylus got a 100 in every one of those circles. It would have been like closer to 74k otherwise.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate, but the spin a win. Spin to claw back some score. And there we go, 66k gonna be at the end of it.
And does Atkins want to just still pick Hard Rock 2? I think he probably would. There it is. Hard Rock 2 now. Mentioned it earlier, probably on accident. Likely forgot it was Alice's first pick for the set, but into the precision map we go. Pretty much polar opposite of what we just saw. Hard Rock, AR-10. Believe this is around CS 6.8. Lots of flying patterns. But this is in the lane of Atkins. Atkins had some fantastic Hard Rock scores in his last match, and he really wants to get another one today. 66k score, nothing too hard to come back from. This isn't really Xylas' strongest suit, but Xylas still played this pretty well, so Atkins has to lock in for this.
Yeah, it's something, a map like this can always change up on you though. You have these wiggle cut flow patterns, as well as it being on the hard rock. It's actually going to be early Ak advantage and a handful of misses for Atkins early on, which is not the fall apart you want to see. Something like that with how simple it is to combo on Lazer, the lack of note lock and everything with an aim control like this, it's just gonna keep on falling apart. But Xylas already up to a 50k lead, holding on to some pretty solid combo here, 300 early on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a brutal start for Atkins, not at all what you want to see from him, as Xylas still holds on to that combo from the intro. Not on the best accuracy, but neither is Atkins. I mean, 3% lead, Ak on Xylas, and the combo. This is a phenomenal score from Xylas thus far, and this map isn't that long. It's just a bit over 2 minutes. And Xylas has that 60k score lead from Hidden 1, so there's really not much time left for Atkins. He needs to hold onto this recovery combo, and Xylas needs to miss soon.
Yeah, and I was mentioning like how a score could change with the volatility of this map, mainly referencing how Xylas could maybe underperform, but it's actually going to be Atkins still finding these breaks, and Xylas holding onto the FC over the halfway point on the CS 6.5. This is a phenomenal score so far, still being built up by Xylas, and I mean, it's going to be down 2 sets for Atkins is not the place you want to be.
I think this is one of the best combos we've seen on this map so far. 800 combo, approaching 900. This set is already over. Xylas is winning this second set, but can he manage to get an FC on the hard rock too? There's still so much to get through though. Xylas tearing through this ending, does find a miss, but I mean, he has done phenomenally on Atkins' pick.
Yeah, it's gonna be these snap sections at the tail end, the snap double striking out Xylas, but not before getting 800,000 score, a massive improvement from yesterday's. And even then, that CS 6.5 comfortability showing some new signs of life. Xylas, 2 sets up on Atkins, 330k lead at the end.
Yeah, I mean, what an improvement from Xylas on this hard rock too. And to be fair, he still did pretty well on it last time, but that's almost 100k score jump and a massive underperformance from Atkins. Atkins went from an 824k in his first match to now a 580k. And wow, if you're Atkins here, your spot's not looking too good. You're down 2 sets. You need to win all 3 sets in a row. And in terms of just skill sets, I mean, Xylas popped off on that hard rock 2 so well. The hard rock pool isn't looking as good as it did before, and Xylas still has that No Mod 3 protected map in the bag that he can go into for a lead here on this set, but Atkins to pick first.
Yeah, and at that point, I think just with these protects remaining, you want to leave those hard rocks open for a rainy day. Something like that No Mod 1 I feel like would be strong for Atkins, and that is going to be the play here, just hopping into some higher BPM comfort with Gen the Arm. The Jonathan LFJ, we're looking at some 260 BPM aim and some cheeky stream patterns in here as well.
And how Xylas has been playing, I mean, you could have a big improvement on this map as well. He got 714k or 740k against Emrek, but after that hard rock 2, almost expecting Xylas to get like an 850k with just how he's been playing this match. And Atkins really needs to perform here. After that unfortunate performance on Hard Rock 2, which I guess was his first like real pick in terms of his hidden free pick in the first set being more of a picking, for Xylas. This is a map for him, and he needs to play it well.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of remaining maps, I do think this is lining up decently for Atkins, of course, assuming he performs as we expect on the Snow Mod 1. He's still got a handful of hard rocks remaining. We have a close Hidden 2, according to previous match scores here, and then the No Mod 3, which is feeling like a comfort Xylas map. So overall, there is comeback ability in this match. There is still life, but first you have to perform here. It's going to be some waning score lines due to accuracy early on. Both players holding on a combo.
Yeah, this map is going to count for a lot, especially if Xylas goes for his protected no mod 3 next. Akins will likely not just need to win this map, but win this map by a good enough margin to stave off the potential no mod 3 deficit that Xylus could build. So far though, both players, I think, on identical accuracies. The score lead is just flickering back and forth constantly.
Yep, 99.15 for each, building up. It's a couple 100s just flickering over due to how Bancho is going to load in those scores. But in we go with the Ki. This is going to be the do or die. The biggest combos we've seen on this map usually hover around 1400, or one player falters around this section. Big aim patterns and cut quads, but both players hold on to the long burst as well. It's going to be slight act advantage for Xylus, first lead we've seen on the map.
But really what's going to count the most is that first miss and who does it. Both players approaching that 1k combo mark. And they hit it, but neither player budging just yet. I mean, this map used to be like, even in solo, was like a milestone, phenomenal score. Both players holding on to this in a match is absurd. But who is going to break?
Oh, and we go with the speed section. This is the hybrid comfort that Akins is known for. Of course, Xylus no slouch on these bursts, but in a matchup like this, anything could break you. Longer, lower BPM streams now. The Lazer client doing its thing. No nut locks. Gotta be holding on to combo for both, but double for 1350s is unbelievable, but the lightning strikes out both! And both players dropping that combo, it's gonna be up to that 1% accuracy difference now.
And now, I mean, this is looking great if you're Xylus here. This is Akins' pick. You likely have an advantage on this next one, and you have the Ak lead with 2 minutes left in the map here. This is Xylus' time to try to close this out here, with both players missing on the exact same pattern.
Yeah, and I mean, this was a map we did not expect Xylus to take the lead on. He got a max of like 700 combo on this in his match against Emrek the other day, but 1300 matching Akins here. Combo advantage, accuracy advantage as another break comes through for Akins, and what a showing from Xylus in this matchup, improving on nearly all of his scores.
Just rising to the occasion. I mean, he played well against Emrek, but he is playing this match on a level even beyond that. Akins had a really good combo. That combo would have beaten out what you would expect to be Xylus' expected score, but Xylus did make that improvement that I talked about being a possibility with what we saw from him on the Hard Rock 2. And now this map is likely going to go his way with him holding a 650 combo up against Akins' 150, finding several more breaks after that first miss. Hitting this stream pattern as well, both players do.
Yeah, and I mean, another fall for Akins, and it's just, this is far and away over. A 65k lead on Akins' pick is scary stuff. Xylus can really close out the match here with something like that no mod 3 protect, assuming it remained as strong for him today as it did yesterday. And what big improvements for Xylus. That's just unbelievable work from him, clearing 770k here and 100k score lead. 1k combo again at the tail end, only that one miss on the lightning bolt stream, and that's gonna do it for the map.
Just a phenomenal score from Xylus. I think I said 850k is a hypothetical score if Xylus just popped off it. He almost reached it. Akins, unfortunately, not even hitting that 700k score mark. Akins not playing the best match of his career. Xylus, though, just going ham. And now he's 130k score lead going into his pick. It is going to take quite a standout performance from Akins to have a chance at getting this set.
One miss right in the middle of the map for Xylus. That is unbelievable. And I mean, yeah, it's got to be no mod 3. Like, he sees the writing on the wall. You might as well just play it safe. Just hit that home run and hope it goes your way.
Yeah, I mean, you have a big cushion to fall on. I mean, Xylus could lose this next pick by 120k and you'd still win the entire match. So as long as you don't underperform too hard here, you should be good. And with how he's been playing, unlikely to happen. And it is going to be that no mod 3.
Yeah, gonna be hopping into our Suicune custom for the week, a different kind of hybrid. We've been talking about tapping aim hybrids throughout this matchup. This is going to be a reading precision hybrid with AR 7.5, CS6, I believe, if memory recalls. And gonna be a comfort pick for Xylas. This was one of the main reasons why he took one of those sets against Emrek in last week's matchup.
Yeah, definitely one of the most awkward maps of the pool. Now, Atkins is by no means a slouch on reading. I mean, he won the Hidden 2 head-to-head when both players played it in their respective previous matches. But Atkins doesn't just need to win this pick, he needs to win it by 130k, and with how hard this map is, getting a 130k score lead is going to be extremely difficult, especially with Xylas playing the way he has been this match.
Well, different varieties of trickiness early on. A couple axe drops for Atkins. Combo drop for Xylas is being traded. Atkins lead early. I mean, there's potential here. This map so difficult, and I mean, some of the structure reading showing itself as well. These stacked kick sliders, very dense and absurd. It shows a level of control that you have to have for a map like this, but of course, Xylas is going to be all over this.
Yep, Xylas with a big combo lead now after that last miss from Atkins. Ak lead as well on his favor with 3% ahead of Atkins. Does find another break, but traded by Atkins. And that score lead is building up.
Yeah, it's just these constant trades. I mean, it's not... any lead is a big lead for this set, I feel. So long as you have this 130k buffer, just such a strong cushion. These trades feel like a foregone conclusion, but hoping to build up these scores here as we make it past these halfway point. Xylas hitting that cut triple section.
And I mean, now still building that score lead, 87k in the lead, and with a little bit over a minute left to go, I think this could be it for Atkins. Not the best performance we've seen from him, but I mean, Xylas has just done so well in this match. Just seems like Australian players, with Emrek being the last to fall from Xylas, Xylas is just their kryptonite right now, as Xylas builds up to 130k score lead now.
I don't know which Australian hurt Xylas, but he took out Emrek, he takes out Atkins, and now he has to make them go versus each other because the loser of this match goes against the ASecretBox. So now it's going to be an Australian civil war in the losers bracket. This is just... I'm sure this hurts, Morty.
Oh, it hurts, Hama. I gotta admit, it stings, but... the best player wins, and Xylas in this match has been the best player.
Yeah, and with this victory as well, this is a confirmed top 3 for Xylas in the Lazer Grand Arena. So, what a standout performance here. I believe not participating in the first Lazer Grand Arena, but showing up in a big way for this one. As is many of the players in this tournament, closing out this match 3 sets to 3, another near 300k lead on this final set.
And yeah, I mean, what a performance from Xylas. And as you mentioned, obviously Atkins not out yet, will be going up against Box for the Oz versus Oz matchup, but Xylas moves on in the winners bracket. And just a phenomenal run from Xylas so far. I mean, placed 23 in the qualifiers. Obviously, most people anticipated that to be an underseeding, but he has just done such a good job in these matches. Well done, GG's.
Yeah, and putting in the work. I mean, every map that was an Atkins pick, Xylas improved on by like at minimum 200k. It was just unbelievable work there, and gonna be showing off those chops against whoever wins against Flying Tuna and Malashevsky now in their matchup in the future. But that's gonna be it for me and Vorty in this Lazer Grand Arena matchup. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow at 14 UTC, I believe, for our next one.
Yep, see you there.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back to the Lazer Grand Arena. Here we are with a surprising turn of events leading to a final matchup. It's going to be ASecretBox versus Atkins. Here we are at the top of the hour. Joining me on commentary is Vordy once more. How are you feeling about the Australian Civil War?
You know, it's bittersweet, Hubba, because, you know, for me as an Australian, as a massive fan of the Australian players in any of these tournaments. At the very least, an Australian player will win, but unfortunately an Australian player will have to lose because of it. So regardless, I'm just here to enjoy two players I admire very much, and we'll see who ends up being the best here.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of overlap in skill sets here that'll make this match interesting. I think Atkins probably having a higher speed edge. We're going to be seeing him pick into those double times as a comfort, I would imagine. And Box really going to be loving those hiddens. We saw that hidden 3, one of Box's best maps, and one of Atkins' lower performing maps, likely to be an early ban here. So, going to be interesting to see how those mods play out. And as we hop into our first ban phase, it's going to be Atkins banning first.
Yep, and Box will be banning that DT2 that Atkins had a pop-off performance in one of his last matches in. And if you're surprised to see this match happen now, originally this was scheduled for, I believe, 10 UTC Sunday, but both players were just ready to go right now. They have both just played a match recently, so they just wanted to get it over with. And we see Atkins banning out the Nomad, I'll let this hit the laser map, so definitely not practice on it.
Yeah, getting rid of that laser map once more, protecting the DT1, that 300 BPM map we were mentioning in Box's previous match that we cast. I forget who that was against, but it'd be higher. Oh, it was Tuna, right? The higher skill cap speed favoring Atkins in this favor. ASecretBox pretty solid on stamina, pretty solid on tapping, but when it comes to that higher BPM skill cap, Atkins is going to be stronger.
You know, one thing to consider for this matchup is just the recency bias of these players' performances. Atkins had a pretty significant underperformance against Xylus compared to his previous match. Box, on the other hand, playing really well against tekkito, getting plenty of great scores. I think never getting less than 700k, getting over 800k on 4 of the 6 maps played. So just in terms of who's kind of hot and who's cold, Box has that advantage, but if both players are playing to the standard they're capable of, kind of anything goes here. And interesting enough, it's going to be Atkins to ban the Nomad 2, so maybe not as feeling as good on the stamina deployment right now, at least compared to Box, and Box going to ban out that Nomad 3.
Yeah, that's the Nomad 3 is a little bit of a surprising ban considering how we just saw Atkins perform on it. Of course, both players having some time to warm up now with this map or match, but I don't know, I feel like that map would have been a little bit more 50-50 than Box is giving it credit for as we go into what is an expected first pick. I mentioned it just a few moments ago. It's going to be that hidden 3 first for Box.
Yeah, I mean, Box had an unreal performance on this map last time he played it, getting, I believe it was 2 100s. There's an Ak Demon on this, and Atkins, in both of his plays, not too great, I believe, around a 700k and a little bit over a 600k, so that is what we're dealing with as a reference for Atkins. So Box, on paper, should have the lead here.
Yeah, phenomenal scores from him, and I suppose it remains to be seen. We're going to be a bunch of rhythm flow and cut streams in this match. We're going to be demanding your hidden comfort with a little bit of structure reading, some doubles in the flow patterns, but Atkins maybe having some time to readjust, warm up a little more. Maybe that first pick last time was a little bit of blunder more due to preparation than anything else. We'll have to see how he performs on it this time around.
Yep, and hopefully Box has kept warm since his previous match. Don't want to be too cold, and thus far, neither player finding any big struggles. Accuracy is matched now, and Atkins yet to break. Will definitely want to put up a better fight against Box than he did against Xylus.
Early on, it's going to be a slight accolade due to some of these 1-6 bursts caught up in there. These 1-6 stacks going to be slightly higher BPM, going to be easy to catch you off guard if you're not having a great time with the rhythm. But overall combos so far for both of these players holding on tight, looking like a better showing for Atkins early on. Only a 6k difference going to be up to this first break.
Yeah, this is already a step up from Atkins compared to their previous play, but still no player to drop. And the first miss, I feel like it's going to come soon, and Atkins is going to be the first to break here. And at the halfway point in the map, pretty rough as well. Box hitting that big pattern, the diagonal flow aim stream, and now with 99.5%, how much of a score lead can Box build up?
Yeah, maybe able to close out the FC this time around as Box nearing that 1k combo, a minute left remaining on the Mega Van Hidden 3. Really scary stuff, but if you're Atkins, you're really hoping for that break this time around. It's only one miss difference. The accuracy also building up, but it's already a 100k lead. Its first set maybe going by the wayside due to this Hidden 3 once more. It's all up to Box now, finding a couple more hundreds than that earlier run, but the combo is there and showing itself in such a big way.
I mean, this combo is huge, and Atkins building up a good recovery combo, so will slow down the bleeding, but by no means will he be able to call it, as Box is now past the 800k score mark with the FC still intact. Can he close it out? Atkins finally gets another miss, but Box is still going. 20 seconds left in the map. Can he do it? 900k score.
Oh my goodness, this is his most consistent map by far, showing off in accuracy, this time showing off in combo. Just 8 seconds to go for Box. 1600 combo and growing.
Oh,
Closing out a
my
250k
goodness.
score lead with that FC. Oh my goodness. 8 100s, second best accuracy only to himself for the Hidden 3. What a performance. What a first pick. Starting off strong on this set.
Just an unreal start from Box. I mean, Atkins played this Hidden 3 much better than he did in his last 2 plays, but Box with a 99.6% FC just, yeah, he is locked in on this matchup up against his Australian brethren, starting this off with an FC.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. And I mean, for Atkins, we talked about strategy a lot. It's going to be probably a strategic pick coming up next. 250k is a hard thing to come from, but it's going to be the Nomad 4 pick. And I mean, this has been a strong map for ASecretBox. You're looking at this flow tech difficulty, lots of high velocity sliders in here as well. Not a bad pick for a man down a set if you're trying to get rid of some maps.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. You go for a strategic pick here. You pick a map for your opponent so they have less fuel for later sets, because with a 248k score deficit, there's almost no chance that you're going to be able to bring this set back. So picking the Nomad 4 here, techie map, pretty heavy on the flame as well. Definitely the most similar map to Hidden 3 left in the pool. And yeah, Box favored, but that is the point.
Yeah, that Hard Rock pool not featuring a ton of tech. The remaining alt picks all sort of either mechanically inclined for that Hard Rock 3 or a little bit dense with the Nomad 3 Protect. So, gonna be a solid pick here as we see these players enter this map. And I mean, again, this is another volatile map in this pool. If Atkins has a pop-off moment and we see a handful of slider breaks from Box, this could turn itself a different direction. So there's potential here, as well as it being a good pick if it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah, I mean, there is a chance for Atkins to take this obviously by 250k, but it would be something to happen.
Yeah.
But that is going to be the first miss from Box, so the opening is there if Atkins can get through this techie section.
Unfortunately, not to be with that trade, but early trades early on out. Even if so, this is such a tricky map. You see these big cut stream slider sections all made all the more easier by Lazer, but still difficult in its own right, both in a reading aspect and a flow aspect. That flow comfort, something that ASecretBox prioritizes himself on time and time again.
Yeah, and it's partially why this is such a good Box map as well, because it is there's like several varieties of tech, and this would be in the flow tech category, especially in some of the later sections like this one. That just fits better into what Box is so good at, as Atkins finds multiple breaks here. Box built back up to a 600 combo, and now with a already 250k score lead in the first map, is pretty much over for the set. But a good strategy here from Atkins to take away something from Box later on.
Yeah, I mean, early miss not going to be too big of a problem now with this 800 and growing combo, I believe, FC combo on this map. Just around 1800, but unfortunately that second break can come through right before the 1k combo mark. Still, very strong pick with this 60k lead for Atkins to get rid of for future times. That would be enough for maybe a set 5 or so from these players. This would be good then, but gonna be gone now. Not gonna be so big of a worry. As Box popping off in a big way. Solid accuracy once again, as we've grown to expect. A 98 for the map.
Box, one of the best ACK players in the tournament scene right now, and I mean, even if even if you don't necessarily need to win by a huge margin to secure the set because of your lead, just getting another good score on the board does build up that confidence for the later sets. Box will end this number 4 pretty solidly here, approaching that 700k score mark as we near the ending.
Yeah, and I feel as though something we've yet to bring up in like talking about the strategy for these matches is like the mental of losing. Atkins losing the set by 444k is like there was strategy in that pick. He lost the pick by 200k by the end of it, but mentally that's always going to be tough to come back from, even if that was the plan. So mentally, you have to come back from that as well, especially off the back of another loss. Box not going to be the first pick this time around. It's Atkins to pick once more, and I would imagine it's going to be that DT1 protect, and this is the mental reset you may need.
Yeah, I mean, you want to come out swinging here. Atkins has the potential to get a huge score on this map. He'll definitely have the benefit of the ACK lead, most likely, being super comfortable at this approach rate and BPM, especially on these almost 300 BPM 1/4 patterns. But Box can play this pretty well, and his job is going to be to try to keep the lead as close as possible. But as Atkins here, you definitely want to win this head-to-head. You need it going into the second set.
Yeah, and already looking early this first couple of streams for some 100s chain, but it is the miss for Atkins. Full accuracy versus combo battle early on with this 7% difference. Always has time to grow and build up, maybe a little bit less with this score v3, the Lazer scoring more accuracy favored, but still even only by 10k early on despite that deficit.
Unfortunate miss from Atkins, but still holding onto that lead for now. He'll definitely want Box to find a miss somewhere here, especially with how short this map is. Any misses here will be very detrimental to your overall score. Box still holding on, and he's built up a little bit of that accuracy back from the intro section. Just so difficult to adjust to these maps right away. They just come out at you out of nowhere, and Box now wrestling the lead away from Atkins.
Yeah, the next miss is going to decide it at this point. With the added score from double time, these are high margins. 6k is not so much score with this double time multiplier, and we go with the lower BPM burst section. This section around 225 BPM, longer streams, this flowing comfort. Gonna be offering up some ACK drops from Atkins to actually give Box a further lead, as he's consolidated his accuracy quite nicely from the intro, and holding on to an FC still is him. If any break comes through, it will decide the map, but it's just more ACK drops for Atkins, giving Box a further lead.
8 seconds, 7 seconds. Can Box get another FC after the hidden 3? Hits that pattern, he does it again!
God.
Another full combo from Box, this time on a completely different skill set. Atkins really not too far behind with just that miss in the intro and better accuracy, but phenomenal from both of these players. But Box gonna take the slight lead on Atkins' first pick here in the second set.
Yeah, I mean, despite the FC, still that accuracy is going to be a slight lead, 10k, but still, that was your protect pick. That was your strongest map, and was it by 10k? That's scary tidings for this set too, as ASecretBox likely to pick something he's a little stronger on, something like this DT3 perhaps, helping into some Electrocutica double time aim control.
I mean, I just can't believe we're 3 maps in, and we have seen 2 FCs from Box. He's come here to play. It's unreal to get 949k on that map and lose it still. But, you know, there's a chance here. This is a map that should be good for both players, definitely in favor of Box. I mean, we talked about the last time we casted a Box match where he played this. Can compare this to something like Deconstruction Star, which Box has a, you know, an unreal earth-shattering score on. So Box should be the most comfortable here, but Atkins should still likely be able to put up a good fight on this. And the lead is basically nothing.
Yeah, this is going to come down more to flow comfort than, like, approach rate comfort or double time comfort. It's these awkward angles that's mainly going to be the reason for these combo drops early on from Atkins. This map also AR 10.5, but this is kind of a world that Atkins likes to live in. But the back and forth patterns, it's so tricky to nail this flow aim comfort, and still finding breaks for Atkins early on. Already a 50k lead, unfortunately.
I mean, aim control at this speed, at this BPM, at this approach rating is so tough to be consistent on. There's not many who are. Atkins finding many struggles, but Box still holding onto that combo. Ridiculous accuracy as well. This map is very, very tough to act, but not for Box, clearly. And, man, Box just decided to have his best performance thus far of the tournament, I would say, against one of his own. A little bit of friendly fire here, but Box just doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, back against the wall, that's when you're strongest if you're Box. And I mean, since coming to the losers bracket, he has looked unstoppable, losing only to last year's Lazer Grand Arena champion, and now coming through in a big way, holding on to another FC 150k lead, 99.4 accuracy at the 2/3 mark of the map. Is another confirmed set for Box, and scary looks for anybody else in this losers bracket still.
A minute left in this map. I don't even know what I'm going to do if Box gets another FC here. There's still plenty of patterns to go, and this map is obviously so tough to be consistent on, so not there yet, but Atkins finding another break. As you mentioned, this set is already over. But can Box do it? 38 seconds, 37 seconds. Hitting the wiggles. Does Box find the way to get another full combo?
Yeah, this ending is so demon. Definitely the hardest part of this map. You see the spacing changes so frequently.
No way.
In comparison, the structure reading and overlaps coming through in a big way. Big triangles, find some act drops, but it's up to the combo. 1400 and growing, 6 seconds remain for ASecretBox. Buzz Slider's not going to be striking him out as he gets his third FC in 4 maps.
Box, what are you on right now, man? Why did you just decide to toggle up against Atkins? This is an absurd performance, man. What the hell, dude? These are not... I mean, DT1 is maybe one of the more FCable maps in this pool, but Hidden 3, this DT3 is up there in one of the hardest FCs in this pool, so that is just... Oh my goodness, he is on another level here.
Yeah, I'm speechless. That is so unbelievable. And I mean, looking at remaining maps, it's again, we're in the same situation as last match where the remaining maps aren't terrible for Atkins. You have a full Hard Rock pool to play into. You have that No Mod 1 still. But oh my god, it's just the mental coming off of 3 FCs nearly in a row for Box. It's just in unbelievable work as he picks the Hard Rock 2 now.
Yep, Box picking the Hard Rock 2. Both of these players are great on this map, but obviously Box knows the Hard Rock 2 Atkins got on just against Silas and wasn't up to his standard. Now, obviously, super volatile map. It's short. It's a precision pick. Atkins, I expect him to play this one better than he just did, but I mean, if there is such thing as a hot hand in this game, if there's such thing as the flow state, Box is in it, I say as he misses right in the intro.
Yeah, we're looking for a little bit more warm-up on Atkins on this map. He found a gnarly underperformance on this in the Xylus match just previously, but it was his pick, so there must be a level of confidence there. Gonna be up to this volatility. CS 6.7 flow aim control once again. This Box comfort, but unfortunately it's some more breaks from Atkins as ASecretBox recovers after that first break.
Yeah, I mean, Atkins once again showing a lot of struggles here in the intro, not just on these misses, but once again on the accuracy, as Box missed super early on and has now recovered flawlessly here, over 99.5% AC, holding onto that combo, looking great once again. And I mean, so many of these maps that Box has just been playing so well on, we've seen so many different skill sets. You gotta think at least one of these Box isn't on fire right now, but you would be wrong.
And I mean, this is incredibly scary work if you're Atkins, already a 150k lead. And once again, finally, the FC is to break, so there is perhaps a chance to bring back some of the score in this final minute remaining. Some more breaks coming through for Box, lowering the accuracy, equalizing just a little bit. Already that dwindles it down by a couple 10,000, but then again, another trade comes through and it's right back to square one. Really scary stuff.
Yeah, with Box breaking his big combo, there would have been a chance if we saw some combo from Atkins, but unfortunately Atkins really just having a tough time here. Is clearly a good pick from Box. Box seeing that this wasn't the precision day for Atkins, and that 99%, that early combo, will give him a massive score lead here in this first pick of the third set.
Yeah, it's back up to 99% accuracy for Box. Gonna be finding the trade, but it is damage done and a tough where to come back from if you are Atkins. Already down 160k, final set. You gotta pick good now.
Yeah, 149k score in the lead for Box. Box not having the best combo, but that's just why AK is so big with this laser scoring. That 98.83% doing so much damage to Atkins in comparison. And now Atkins to pick. He needs to find the needle in the haystack here. It's going to be hard to do with how well Box has been playing, but there's going to be something here you need to perform on if you're Atkins. It's going to be the no mod one yet again he's leaning on.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a map where it's so easy to find misses anywhere with this high BPM aim. This is a comfort for both of these players, but this is a map you could easily underperform on. You could get 500 combo 4 miss. You so long as it's like devied up, it'll be okay. And Atkins, we've seen he can perform. He got 1400 combo on it just in the match previously. And one of his better scores in that matchup. There is the potential there for some build-up on John the Arm.
I mean, this time, if we see a combo like that from Atkins, we need to see a better ending to the map, because obviously Xylus and Atkins missed at around the same point, but it was Xylus to clutch up in the ending. Atkins find some more struggles, so the name of the game here is, if you do find that first break, try to keep, the best you can go for the rest of the map, especially with this 150k score lead for Box. Box going to find an early miss, like he did on that Hard Rock 2, but won't be too important with how long this map is.
Weirdly enough, every single time this map has been played, we've seen one of the two players find an early break here. So just maybe easing some of those nerves for the players, getting rid of that FC early on such a long, daunting task.
See, but this time, Atkins is not showing any axe struggles, which is something you like to see here if you hope for a closer match. But he's going to need to carry this combo out for a lot. But there it is. There's the opening. Box finding another break here. And if there is a place to get a big combo, it is in this first half of the map. So that opening is there. 150k looked pretty big, but it's doable.
Yeah, especially with this accuracy, 99.7 for Atkins. Definitely his highest performing map so far. Of course, we haven't hit some of those 1/3 or 1/6 patterns quite yet. Those are going to be some of the main sources of act drops in this map. Very consistent 260 otherwise. But second break for Box, and looking good for Atkins early in a world where he has to pull back some gnarly score.
Chances there, it's looking good. Atkins just needs to keep holding. Don't let those nerves get the best of you. And we're going to start approaching the point where we see some pretty gnarly patterns in some of the Floymere sections. The Box is just, right there. So if Atkins does find a break, Box is going to have the act to keep it close.
And close accuracies, only half a percentage to this point. it's going to be some of those pattern streams, I would imagine, where we're going to start seeing some of the bigger leads in accuracy, whichever way they may go. And we go with some of these lower BPM streams, wide angle jumps, but still both players hold on as we head into the burst section.
Right, Atkins, this is where you need to perform here. Want to keep this combo on for as long as you can. Box with another huge miss. And unfortunately, Atkins does break, but still managed to build up a pretty good, decent lead here. And this is where you're going to need to keep playing to a high level for Atkins, because you still need to build more of a lead here. Unfortunately, finding huge act drops that gives Box some room.
Yeah, accuracy fully switching directions. The lead that Atkins held on to for a remainder of this map is now on his side, as some more act drops unfortunately coming through on these lower BPM sections. The cut streams and squares not looking great for him, as he Box clawing back from once was a 75k lead, now down to 55. There is some potential here if Box breaks again. Atkins needs to hold on in a better way than he did last time, though, and these act drops are not helping that case.
I mean, these act drops are devastating. Atkins held the act lead for most of this map, but Box now, the ever-consistent act demon, and although Box didn't manage to find any big combos here, he did manage to keep that act, and unfortunately with another miss from Atkins, this is looking like it's slipping out of his reach here. Especially with another drop in blocks, recovering really, really well in this ending.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate stuff, and those continued misses are going to be a GG for Atkins coming through. The Box performing on the set time and time again. I mean, 3 FCs in the first 4 maps of this match is such a unbelievable level of consistency for a pool this difficult, and big props to him for performing that highly on such an impromptu match.
Yeah, I mean, I can now see why Box wanted to play this match now. Maybe he felt it in the ether that it was his match to go, just absolutely berserk on, and he did. By the end of this, it looks like Atkins will still take the head-to-head lead on this map, but just simply does not have enough time to get through that 150k score lead for Box. And on this rate, Atkins will leave this tournament with still a very, very respectable and a really solid top 6 performance, as Box moves into the top 4 in the losers bracket.
Yeah, Box going to be facing the winner of Welter versus Emrek in our others losers bracket match to determine who makes it into that top 3. And what a match that would be. Another Australian duel, perhaps, or perhaps the Russian Welter coming through in a big way with another upset. Well, remains to be seen.
It'll be Emrek up against Welter, and then the winner of that will fight the loser of Malice Tuna, and then the winner of that will go up against Box. So still quite a few options here for who Box could verse, but insanely well done from Box. I mean, that was one of the most insane performances. 3 FCs and 6 maps, with some of those FCs being, especially that DT3 is crazy. But yeah, well done from Box here, and condolences to Atkins. It was the Australian Civil War, and Box takes it.
Yeah, unfortunate night for Atkins. Just been put up against 2 consistency demons on the day, in Xylus and Box. The both of them coming through in a big way, and will be the win for both. As for real this time, we will be having our next match with Welter versus Emrek in about 9 hours.
Yes, you're all there.
Have a good one.